I remember being really mad, like in high school, with her saying how she would prefer me to be with someone who is East Asian or Chinese specifically, but and I still don't agree. Like I still think like I want what I want, okay? But like at this age, I kind of feel like I see the tiniest bit of validity in why she thought that way, just because I I know I consider like my identity to be like very like Chinese. Like I'm definitely Asian American. Like no matter what, even though like I am not very close with the quote unquote like Chinese aspect of me, because I do feel like I don't understand a lot of aspects of Chinese culture and such like that. And I always worried like, because if I did have a kid, like no matter what, like they're going to be Chinese in some way because that's what I am. And I felt worried that I already know so little about China and like Chinese culture and my heritage as it is, like how could I teach my child anything about it too, especially if it's a part of them. So in a way, I did understand why my mom wanted me to be with a Chinese man, because like if I couldn't teach my child, like maybe he could, or maybe like there could just be some way, to like disseminate that information to my child, especially because I myself don't have a very strong understanding of it. So yeah.
I feel strange because after came here for semester, uh, I was kind of questioning my like original culture, like Chinese culture. There's something like just maybe I did some like comparison between American culture and the Chinese culture. Yeah, I like some part of American culture, but I also like some part of Chinese culture. During the first few weeks I came here, I really felt uncomfortable, especially like speaking and listening. And during the whole week, I would say I didn't understand half of the talk. Yeah, I just stand there and pretend to understand everything. Yeah, well, I guess especially for Chinese international students, speaking is not their strength. Well, at least it is true for me. And also, like Americans, people like using some slangs, and I really had a hard time understanding them. Yeah, but after a semester, things became better. Yeah, after have talked with friends and experienced some American culture, I found out like I had a better ability to communicate with American. Yeah, and so there are some maybe cultural shock when I first came here. Like, well, I think American people are really open, like are really open to the like sexual relationship, and especially the first time I heard of the hookup, I was kind of shocked. Yeah, but sometimes I feel American people are very like warm-hearted and very friendly. They will say something like "I love you," like or something very like maybe intimate. But in China, people don't usually say them. Yeah, but I just feel like American people like saying these words, but sometimes they don't care about you. They are used to say these words.
I'd say that I could definitely know more. I feel like a lot of what I know about Korean culture are like the Wikipedia facts, kind of like the things that have existed for a while, but I'm not very knowledgeable in like how the culture has developed and evolved and like what it is like now. Because every time I go to Korea, like they have new words they have new slang that they use, or like new things like the culture, like or that my cousins are interested, or it's the new trend or something like that. So in terms of that kind of culture, I don't think I'm really knowledgeable in. Obviously, because I don't live there, but I think I know. I'm comfortable with how much I know. I need to particularly go and learn more, or that I'm missing out on something. If that makes sense.
So whenever I did the actual like activity where you do like strongly disagree to strongly agree, I stood with agree, because I feel like as like growing up Chinese American, I did my best to like learn about my native culture, which I guess would be considered Chinese culture. I worked really hard at Chinese school in order to learn Mandarin, and I tried to only speak Mandarin with my parents, and I celebrated holidays with them. But I feel like I still don't know enough about like the meanings behind different cultural symbols and holidays, and that's something that has caused like a bridge between me and my relatives, because anytime I visit China, I realize that I can't have super profound conversations with them. It's mostly surface level, and that's not something that's intentional from my side or their side. It's just something that happened because I don't really belong to like one distinct culture or the other. My culture is being Chinese American, and like I feel like because I was born in America, that's what should be considered my native culture. And it's just been kind of hard because I feel like I kind of receive like unintentional judgments from both sides. So like when I talk to my extended family, it's just in little comments they say. They're like, "Oh, you probably don't understand this because you're from America." And then sometimes when I talk to my friends who are from American white families and they've had like several generations here, they're like, "Oh, like you probably don't understand like the specific significance behind like this certain thing that we do here in America either." And so I didn't really know like where to stand for that question. But I feel like one solution that, and like one state of mind that I'm coming to accept is that I don't necessarily have to belong to one or the other, and that I'm in a category of its own that's growing because there's so many first gen Chinese like students that are my age that are going through the exact same experience.